Hi, I'm Lori Barkas, family law attorney, and today I want to talk to you about some issues related to the current pandemic and closures that we're experiencing, particularly support, whether it's child support or it's maintenance or alimony, as it's called in different states. So I have a couple questions that I'm going to address for you today. The first one is, what do you do if you've lost your job and you can't pay support? What happens? The second one has to do with health insurance. A lot of times if you lose your job, you've also lost health insurance. So what do you do about that? And the third one is for the people who are thinking about divorce. We're probably thinking about it before all of this happened, and now we're still thinking about it, especially in the tough situations that we're in with everybody being quarantined inside. And the question that's come up so much is, do I file? Is this a good time to do it, or should I wait? Now, once again, as is the case with all these videos, I'm giving you general information. I can't give you legal advice because I don't know you. I don't know your particular situation. So you should never, ever get legal advice from a video or somebody who's not an attorney that you didn't sit down with and have an in-depth consultation to get that information. But here's what I can tell you generally. Let's look at that first scenario. You've lost your job, or you've been furloughed, or it's a substantial pay cut. But either way, you don't have the funds to pay what you're supposed to pay. Now, the most important thing is don't do nothing. It's very tempting to just avoid the situation, not pay the whole thing, and just kind of bury your head in the sand. That's the worst thing you can possibly do, because that could lead to problems down the road. Support is a very serious issue. You don't want to ignore it. You want to look at what resources you have and figure out what you can do, because you also don't want to pay zero. Zero rarely looks good, with the exception of catastrophic circumstances, and I hope you're not in that kind of circumstance. This is the time to speak to a lawyer. I know it's challenging. Money is tight. You don't have the money to pay your bills, so how can I possibly ask you to do that? The problem is there's so many what ifs. There's so many variables to this situation. There's so many legal issues which are changing by the day as courts are deciding certain issues and not others. So this is not the time to get free advice. This is not the time for a free 15-minute consultation. It's really never the time for that, but that's a separate discussion. You really need to talk to somebody about what you need to do. Chances are you do need to file something, and you might even be able to do that on your own with a lawyer's guidance. But again, don't do nothing. Evaluate your situation and get the advice you need. On the health insurance, again, don't do nothing. This is not the time to be uninsured or to have your children uninsured. It's the possibilities are catastrophic. We don't even need to talk about that. Look into your options. Your employment may actually continue your benefits. Some employers are. It's also possible there may be a COBRA plan, although if you're not employed, that may not be feasible. There's also health insurance available through different programs. Look into that. Get the information. Make sure you're not in that situation. And the last thing is, those of you who are thinking about, what do I do? Do I file? Do I wait? Again, there are so many variables to that I can't give you a specific answer. For certain people, it might be more beneficial to go ahead with a divorce or separation at this time, especially if the financial picture has changed. That could certainly be advantageous. At the same time, if you're on the other side of the equation, it may not be in your best interest to do that right now. Once again, when it comes to questions like, what do I file? When do I file? That you absolutely, positively must get advice from a competent attorney who you meet with, who you consult with, who evaluates the entire situation and gives you information. Now, that's just a brief overview of these questions. I will try to do more videos throughout the next coming weeks as these questions keep coming in. If you have questions that you want answered, feel free to reach out to me. you can do so through the contact form on my website, which is www.barkislaw.com. Keep in mind that I won't answer specific questions through email. I never do that. You can also book an appointment. There's a link for you to do that on the website. But when it comes to general information, to the extent that I can, I will provide answers to that. I thank you so much for your time. I hope this finds you safe and healthy and that you stay that way.